Welcome back, and onto the story now. The widow of a South African man who was fatally shot by police at Honolulu in the U.S. State of Hawaii is demanding justice. 29-year-old Lindani Myeni, who hails from KwaZulu-Natal, was shot in a peculiar confrontation with police after they responded to a 911 call of a burglary in progress. Lindsay Myeni joins us now live from Honolulu in Hawaii. I know it's good morning here, Lindsay, but it's good evening there. Thank you so much for making the time to talk to us. You don't seem okay. Are you okay to continue with the conversation?
Yes.
All right. Lindsay, just take us through the motions, what you've been going through since the incident happened.
I don't really know where to start. Just basically on Wednesday, we had such a fun family beach day together. And then, I just went home, and he wanted to go on a drive to clear his mind. And then, maybe 30 minutes later, I call him. No, less than 30 minutes later. Yeah, 30 minutes later, I call him, and he says, where are you? I said, I'm at home with the kids. Where you just left me? He's like, okay, I'm coming back. Hangs up the phone. And then I don't hear from him till the next day, where I find more information. But the police report, according to the police report, when I had got off the phone with him, 18 minutes later, they had 4 bullets in him. So tell me what happened that he deserved to die. It's inexcusable. I don't understand. I don't know if I'll ever understand.
Truly baffling. How are the kids at this moment?
Caesar was starting to catch on and realize he's not coming back, and that's really heartbreaking. He's full of friends around, but he knows his dad is missing, and he says daddy, and but he's almost 2, but he's definitely feeling it. Nadi's only 5 months, so she's not as aware, but babies know things, they can sense things. They're okay right now, we're safe, we're around family, but it's going to be a long ride. I'm already thinking, what am I going to do through matric, through prom, through when he wants to learn rugby. There's so many things, there's a million things that Lindani's going to teach him.
You're a fairly young family. Just give us a sense of the dreams that you had together with your husband and how you were going to raise your kids.
We both come from multicultural backgrounds, and just, how mixed South Africa is, how mixed Hawaii is. We had big dreams of uniting people, of uniting white and black people. So it's very ironic that he died this way. These are all the things he fought for, He was proud that George Floyd's life meant something. He didn't have to die in vain, like so many people just have to die in vain. There's no justice for their lives lost. So he was huge into criminal justice. So this is incredibly ironic. We wanted to save money. We wanted to make as much money as we could in Hawaii, and then be able to bring that back, start some small businesses in South Africa, be able to have cattle, to create some jobs, build some wealth for the township back home. And he wanted a rugby field there. He wanted to do some type of traditional African church where they believe in Jesus, but you actually acknowledge that you do have ancestors, and not just do things out of just religious practice, but have people actually be closer to God, not just have to fear some of the fear that is taught with religion. Yeah, there's just a lot of things he wanted to do. Big dreams, to even bring water to the rural area that he originally grew up in. That was a desire of his, that everybody have a running tap.
Yeah.
So now I'm trying to fulfill whatever I can, but it's going to be a longer journey without such a hardworking man I can't even explain.
I know it's still a bit raw for you, but how have you engaged with the outcome of the George Floyd trial in relation to what has happened in your family?
I just found out about it a few hours ago. There's nothing particular that I can say other than finally a bit of a win for Black people. It's so unfair And there's so little accountability that's taken for actions like these. I'm grateful that there was a win, finally. It's just one baby step, though, to come.
Lindsay, we've heard and seen different reports about your husband's final moments, and we've chosen not to show that footage just out of sensitivity. But according to you, what do you think really happened that day?
I know what really happened up to the time he left me and went on a drive. And then by the time he came back, like I said, it was 18 minutes from when we got off the phone to when he was dead. So they even said in the articles, there's only 1 minute that everything happened. So that alone tells me that something's incredibly fishy. I don't know why he stopped by that house today, but that's like 5 blocks from my house. So I don't understand why stopping by a neighbor's house means death. I just can't wrap my mind around that. Because I know if it was me, it wouldn't have. I know if it was a small Asian woman or a small, even a small African man, maybe not. But the fact that he's a strong African man, it's like completely targeted. I don't know what happened start to finish. I just know they said over 50 video angles, and they gave us such a poor quality, shoddy one with him not even speaking. I can't even watch the video, but people have told me that that's the quality. I know there's cameras on the houses all around. People are not coming forward with those videos. I know that they've given us word that that's an illegal B&B he was standing at. So, and there's a temple next door. So it's possible in the dark he thought that was a temple because he actually took off his shoes and went inside. And it's possible that because it's an illegal B&B, people were coming in and out as if it was a temple. So it's possible that he just went to the wrong door because the house it's a very large house, just like the temple next door. It's possible that happened. It's possible he knew someone who lived at Airbnb or the B&B previously and that they just left from there because he was always making new friends. But I think more likely than not, the temple makes more sense. But still, I just don't understand why he stopped there, what led him to stop there. But no matter what led him to stop there, why does that mean he needs to be dead? I just find that completely absurd. I don't think I'll ever understand that. I just wanted to say, there's a light. Okay, the cops didn't announce themselves. They have this flashlight called a mag light. A mag light is made out of magnesium. It's made to pretty much blind you and just shock anyone who's faced with it. So if you're telling me you point a gun at me, cock a gun, I hear that sound, I see the light shining in my face, and you're going to tell me you wouldn't do anything in the dark? You didn't announce yourself as police? And that lady who was in the house who was acting freaked out, she could have sent one of her thug friends with a gun to get you. So he didn't even know in the dark if it's a cop. You don't know if he even knew that was a cop or a regular person. They didn't announce themselves. It's dark. They came with a bright mag light in his eyes and a gun. And I know my husband. He was a warrior, a valiant. He's a gentle soul, but he is not one to die like a dog in the street. He's not one to die like that. He would have, if he knew someone was going to kill him right then, he would have taken them down. He would have punched them in the face. And gladly so. I'm grateful he did. I'm grateful he didn't just let someone attack him out of the blue.
Yeah, not one to die like a dog in the street, and yet eventually that's exactly what happened. So Honolulu police are saying that it was not a race-based situation. Are you convinced about this?
Not even slightly. Not even slightly. I mean, you can imagine that we've lived in South Africa 3 years together. We've lived in America total of a year and a half together. We've faced a lot of racial injustices. He's been pulled over for walking multiple times just because he looked like you fit a description of someone, whatever that means. Just walking. Oh gosh, this picture, sorry. You just don't know how special that man was, and I will never be able to describe how special he was. Such a valiant man, such a noble man. an amazing father. I always knew I had the best father for my kids. I felt so grateful for that. Yes, definitely I think it was racially charged. And of course they would say it's not. But people have been fearing, specifically cops have been fearing black people for such a long time. And it's such a narrative that people see in movies and hear in music that black people are criminals. And especially in South Africa, this is also the case that people assume black people are criminals. It's just, I can't even begin. I don't even know where to start. There's so many problems with the way white people and black people interact from as we're children. And you start telling your children what to fear. And, oh, they're like this. This is how they do this. Instead of just seeing each human as a human, you see them as, oh, they fit this category. They must be like this. Anybody who knew Lindani knows exactly what kind of character he was. There's no need to defend his character. I'll let the people do that for me. We all know Lindani. We all know this is not him. We all know this is some BS story. And you know how I also know? There's another reason I do. If you have over 50 camera angles, you can only release one. You're hiding the 911 tapes. You haven't given me his cell phone. In fact, at night, 45 minutes, my mom checked the data because he's on her cell phone plan. 45 minutes after he passed, they downloaded 20,000 kilobytes of data. I don't know what they were using his data for. What were you doing to his phone without a warrant? What were you doing to our car without a warrant? And if you weren't covering things up, why haven't you given me back the phone? Why haven't you given me his wedding ring? There's a lot of things that just aren't adding up here. And they're hiding things. They know they've done it. This is the third Honolulu police killing recently. And you know what? To be honest, we thought we were safe in Hawaii. Hawaii is so mixed racially. I always said, you know what? That would be a good place for us to raise our kids because we won't have to be worried about being a mixed family. We won't have to be worried about you being black. Because the rest of America is a way less safe as far as cops go. This is supposed to be the good spot. So the fact that this happened here, I hope it enlightens people's minds. Not only are they killing black Americans, they're killing black Africans. They're killing international black folks who come here. No one is safe in that area. Think of that. Hawaii is a tourist attraction. This is supposed to be one of the safest places on earth. And still you shot a black man for no reason. And the police commissioners say, I think they did a good job. You're going to tell me that's not racist?
Lindsay, just from what you're saying, one gets the sense that you're not getting sufficient support. Are you receiving support from both the U.S. and South African governments?
U.S. government, not at all. South African government, definitely. They've contacted me several times. I've spoken to the ambassador, the ambassador's assistant, the consulate general in L.A. They're trying to help me get his body back. I appreciate that. We're still trying to figure out logistics for them to even release the body from the medical examiner. It's a very stressful process. I mean, if you've ever hosted a funeral or done something like that, it's a long process to get people's documents in order and do a funeral and grieve and experience loss, plus 2 babies in diapers, plus now I have to move back home internationally. There's just so many layers and steps. I'm getting a ton of support from friends and family, both here and back home. My brother flew down. I have his best friend flew down as soon as it happened, who's from Samoa. We have several of my friends who've flown down since, who are all with me now in Hawaii. Some who are going back with me to South Africa to repatriate the body. And but guys, I just want you to know how freaking realistic this is. For every white person out there, I just want you to know this is reality. They shot my husband for no reason. In 18 minutes, someone can't lose their mind in 18 minutes and say you attacked the police when you won't even give me the evidence. If you were so confident that that's the story that was true, then you would have given me every camera angle. You would have shown what he said. What did he speak about? Show me all the camera angles. Why are you telling me cop 1 who shot him the first time didn't have his camera on? How convenient. And then you're saying, oh, we shot first. Then he had attacked us, and then we shot once, and he kept attacking, and then we shot 3 more times while he was already down. You know, this isn't adding up. I think they even shot him first. Something is incredibly fishy here, and I'm going to get to the bottom of it. And we are pressing that everybody contact City of Honolulu, hashtag City of Honolulu, hashtag Mayor Rick HNL. Just put out there, we are not going to stop until you release all the evidence. The 911 tapes.
So
That's what we need.
If you had it your way, what kind of support would you be getting in terms of bringing a resolution to this?
Do you mean long-term, racially?
Well, even immediate support for yourself and your children, your family?
We are incredibly resilient. We are Myenis. We got this. We're going to be okay. I mean, I'm not going to be okay, then I am, then I'm not, then I am. I mean, there will be a heavy grieving process. I think it will hit me incredibly hard when I go home to South Africa. But as far as in the moment, we are resilient people. Me, Nandi, and Cecil, we will be okay. The thing is, I need this world to change right now because this world is too ugly to keep my family in. He is too good for this world. This needs to stop right now.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say. And it needs to be white people who do something about it, guys. Even it's not just purely white and black, but it is racism. It's purely racism. I need white people to see the privilege we have so we can do something about it. We need to step in the gap. When women couldn't vote, men had to give them the right to vote. Whoever has more power in the inequality needs to do something about it.
Yeah.
It needs white people supporting black people, not black people fighting their own cause. We are the problem. We are the ones who came. We are the ones who colonized. We are the ones who are, guys, I mean, I'm just saying big picture.
Trust me, we hear you. Trust me, we hear you. I'm just thinking, you've just said out the names of your children, and not only do they carry very culturally significant names, but they're also going to have to carry the legacy of their dad as they grow up. How are you feeling about that as a mother? Does it overwhelm you?
I only want them to know their father for everything he was, not some last-minute story that the last 18 minutes of his life, someone trying to make him look bad because they're covering up a murder. I don't want them to know that, but I will save every article so one day they can see. But I'm not worried about them not knowing his legacy. He is contagious. He's charismatic. Everybody loves him. This is when he's passed. Of course, you talk about someone as a legend when they pass. Even when he was alive, people talked about him like he was a legend. I mean, he's an incredible singer. He's an incredible rugby player. He's an incredible scout director. Camps. He led kids and 300 kids at a time in sync, dancing to the sound of his voice. This is a leader in the community. So this is a prominent member of the community who only wanted his people to do better and have more opportunities. So whatever I can do to make that happen and keep that going as a legacy, my children will follow into that.
Lindsay, have you settled on dates in terms of the repatriation process?
We're trying to. I was trying to come by this Wednesday or Thursday, which is tomorrow or the next day. They said the earliest they will release the bodies Monday. So Monday is, I guess that's the earliest flight I can fly with a coffin. I thought we were going to go back together in June. His green card appointment is on Friday. I thought we were going to go back together in June and spend the month together and just have a great time in South Africa. I'm flying back with my husband's body underneath the plane. They shot him, cut him open, did an autopsy, took off his wedding ring, left him naked, and embalmed him. I'm flying home with that. I can't even wrap my mind around that. Nobody deserves that. And you know what? America should be ashamed of this. South Africa will not stop until we find answers. That's what Honolulu must know. That's what America must know. It's not a bad place here. Most people are very good, but the system needs to change right now, today.
As I keep saying, it's a bit early, and I'm sure you keep changing from one decision to the next, but where to from here?
My kids need to speak isiZulu better than I can speak it. My kids need to know their family and their heritage. For that reason, we have to come home. I mean, Lindani could have taught them things over here, but we have to go home to South Africa for at least a good time and figure out the next step. We'll always be tied to South Africa and Hawaii. We'll always at least visit one or the other. We figured that out in life. We knew we would always be between continents. But we have to be home for at least quite a time to regain strength. and just regain hope in the world.
How do you hope to engage with the legal process as it unfolds?
Oh, we're suing the Honolulu Police Department. We're in the middle of suing them right now. And after they give us more evidence, when we sue them, we'll push them to give more evidence, and then we can sue them again. I don't care about whatever money comes out of this. There's no price tag for a black man's life, as the popular rap song says. There's no, check the toe tag, there's no price for a black man's life. You could give me $100 billion, even for his last hug, you know? So there's no winning legally. The best thing that can happen legally is what happened with George Floyd, and that people do time, or that they completely just uproot and change the system, and that there's more accountability. Thank God Hawaii does body cams. I thought they weren't even going to be that updated. I was like, whew, at least we'll have some footage. Though I think they're hiding and deleting some things. We're pressing for the unedited footage. I don't know if they've already tried to delete it, but thank goodness we at least that far of having body cams. But ultimately, the justice we want, long-term, racially, is that they change the system. Is that black people and white people live together more often, live closer together more often, so that they can see each other as human. There's too much separation, especially in South Africa. For you to understand someone, you can't have them as your maid only and your garden boy and think that you're going to know them. You need to be at their house. You need to eat dinner together. You need to live together.
Yeah. We were reporting yesterday that a GoFundMe campaign has been launched to get your husband's body repatriated. How can people continue to assist in this regard?
So there's a link to the GoFundMe account. I believe it's got like $21,000 out of, I think, 100,000 that we estimated needing. It's by Sabelo. So you'll see that one. Maybe Bello for short. Anyway, feel free to donate there. That helps with repatriating the body. We don't know if South Africa is actually the consulate actually going to pay money to help. They haven't clarified. They said they can't say on that. They just said they want to try to help. But they're not sure if that will mean financially. So right now we're looking at whatever cost it is to fly the body, the funeral, the lawyer fees, just all the little nuances that come with a murder.
Yeah. I just want to take you back. You touched on it a bit in the beginning of our conversation, but just how you and your husband were engaged in the issue of race relations, not only in South Africa, but in the world. How telling is it in this day and age that this should happen? What kind of conversations were you having about people's reaction to your relationship, especially in the U.S.?
You know, we had multiple encounters where, you know, he'd play a rugby game with people, you know, white people and black people on his team. And then the game would end, and then, you know, it's all buddy-buddy on the field. The game would end, and then it's like, you don't know me. They don't even give me eye contact. Like, guys, come on. You don't even talk to me like a human because I'm dating a black person, because I'm engaged to a black person, because I'm married to a black person. You know, we went through just different experiences in Denver, Colorado, and Honolulu, and in South Africa, in KZN. Yeah. I mean, we'd had conversations about police brutality. You can see his last Facebook post. He was just saying, finally, I'm so grateful to be in America. He just said that. And then a friend below him commented, at least you didn't get pulled over and shot by the cops. And then, boom, literally, that happened. That was kind of his worst fear, because he knows how things are racially unequal. And we just have people stop, and I mean, obviously constant stares in the mall in South Africa, and just I've had people stop in their tracks and just drop their jaw in disgust. Like, you know, people, it's a lot of body language. It's a lot of people looking at you like you're with an animal or something absurd, which at first completely blew my mind, because I just didn't even know people were so sheltered that they not even lived with other cultures, that they've not even experienced other humans who don't look like them, walk like them, talk like them, act like them, and thought so little of them without even knowing their personality or anything. So I had never experienced such overt racism until I was in South Africa. But obviously this takes the cake across the board as one of the most evil things a human can do. Just murder someone's husband on their way home. Literally, I had dinner at the table.
Yeah. Just off the basis of your experiences, what, according to you, is it going to take to unify the world, all the different races? Or is it a futile experience, a futile exercise?
No, not futile. In fact, I think the most important thing to do is to try to create that equality. What is it going to take? What is it going to take? That's a heavy question. There's so many little things it's going to take. But Lindani used to say, we have to be poor together, you know? He almost gets happy when he sees a white homeless person because he thought only black people could be homeless. He's like, no, if at least we're equal, we'll suffer together. Live amongst each other, thrive in the same areas, go to the same stores, suffer together, progress together, just do things together. Stop being afraid of each other. It's just cowardly. It's so cowardly, this whole narrative of how we arrived to these places. You know, how we landed in Hawaii as white people, how we landed in America as white people, how we landed in South Africa as white people. And just, we helped the savages. And, you know, we brought you education. We brought you medicine. We brought you all these things. No, guys, rewrite this whole thing. There's so many simple truths that natives can teach you, natives of every land, indigenous people of every land can teach you. And you have to be humble enough to sit down and realize that. So it's going to be a lot of baby steps. It's going to be a lot of things. You know, a friend of ours just got pulled over by the cops yesterday, and or they sat him aside on the curb. And my brother took out his camera. My brother's white and tall and just the whitest guy you've ever seen. And he took out his camera and made it clear to the cops, I'm filming you, and I'm standing next to my friend until this is over, and I'm not leaving his side. He's a Samoan guy, so a man of color, brown skin. And those are the things we need to do. If you see a black person being pulled over, especially in America, I mean, it might be a bit different in South Africa because the cops are often also black, so you can have conversations with each other. There's not that kind of racial tension as often. But here, even in black neighborhoods, the cops are still white. So if you see someone being pulled over, pull over with them. Say, hey, are you okay? To the person being pulled over. Are you okay? Are you well? I'll be with you until this is over. Stand next to them.
Even that
Use your privilege.
Even that example you mentioned won't have similar consequences, will it? Because the cops react differently to a white man as they would to another black man filming.
You know, if I was in the car with him, no way they would have shot him. You know, he actually wanted to take Nzizo with him on that drive. And I think they wouldn't have seen him in the back seat, and they would have still just murdered him right there, and my son would have seen it. So that wouldn't have worked. But me being in the car or me being on the scene, I know they wouldn't have shot him. Because it just brings credibility. A woman brings a sense of safety. And a white woman is seen as is so innocent and could never hurt anyone. Like, it's just all the stereotypes just fit into... And, you know, I understand cops are afraid. I understand why you're afraid. It's a very dangerous job. I don't take that lightly. I understand that. Just we have to change this entire system of assuming because you're a black, you're a criminal.
Lindsay, thank you so much for talking to us today. But just to conclude our conversation, I want to ask you, is it too early, or are you already having those Lindani would have done it this way moments where you've taken decisions together and suddenly you have to decide what to do with the kids, with the finances, or any other activity in the family?
To be honest, that's really the hardest part. You know, I'm packing up the house now, and he was honestly our leader. Like, every big decision, he was so quick to make it a good decision. That's why I was so attracted to him when I met him, is he has great judgment. Like, he just always knows the right answer. I just constantly find myself asking him, Daddy, what do we do about this? Or, can you believe this happened today? I can't believe that happened. I just want to share stories with him and come home and laugh with him. Or I think he's coming through the door, and I'm like, wait, he's gone, you know? And yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. It's missing his judgment. He has such good judgment. I could ask him about anything. Oh, and the kids listen to him so well. I mean, he was like slightly more disciplinary. I'm a bit softer. And now I have to take that role, that father role, and protector and provider and all these things. And you just can't do it. As any single mom would know, it's just not the same. You will never be the same. Your kids won't listen to you at the exact same tone. You'll have to repeat yourself. It's like, I just wish I had his advice. Like, okay, when I get to South Africa, what do we do? What's the first step we should take? How should I pack the house up? Like, he just always had good ideas at everything. He's just such an intelligent man. I love him so much. I feel like he's almost not gone yet, that his spirit's not up there yet, that he's still comforting me for a bit.
We can't wait to welcome you back home. We hope you'll talk to us again when you arrive. Safe trip back.
Yeah.
Safe trip back. Lindsay Myeni there talking to us about the loss of her husband. Let's take a break.